Okay, so now we're on the other side of the vehicle. There's not too much different on the outside here. We've basically got a water filler down here, so that's for the water tank that's underneath the vehicle, 90 litre. And in here we've got tap, water pumps, etc., or water pump and a tap, and this is specifically for obviously the food side on this one, and again dustproof and waterproof, so it can't get contaminated. But I kept it separate so that if anything ever was to go wrong, I'd rather fill this compartment with water than the entire interior of this. Up here we've got the secondary antenna. So this antenna here does actually fold down, and this one is for the GME, while the one on the front is actually connected to the other UHF. But this is for the GME XRS, and the reason it's up here is anybody should know. It's having one up high that has a 360 clearance off the vehicle is always the best option. Okay, so now we've got this open. This awning is a necessary evil at the moment, something I may have to change in future, but right now it's the only option I've got until I can resolve this issue with the antenna. I would like to get a 180 awning on there. I do have a full-blown 360 at home, which was on this vehicle, but we had to take it off because if you go around that side, you can't access the vehicle, and you can't have the ladder on either side because of the gullwing doors. So a little bit of a limitation, but that's okay, I don't mind. So eventually 180 awning hopefully on there that will replace this and cover it. But in the meantime, at least we've got a little bit of shade and protection from weather here, and with this there over it, it covers both sides. The other alternative is to look at doing something fully custom, but we'll get to that later. This is my setup. Now there's a couple of little things missing, but I've got some time constraints at the moment, so we've got to film it now. I'm going to be off work for a little bit shortly and not able to do a lot, and while I'm doing that, I'll be able to edit all of this footage, so that's part of the reason why we're pushing it now. So very quickly, this is an angle upright. It's been in there since day dot. It's really good fridge. Love it, absolutely happy with it. People ask why I don't have a freezer. The reason I don't have a freezer is I don't need one. Really, if I do need to take a freezer on the really big trips, I've got a 45 litre angle, which actually goes on the other side where the storage is, hence why there's also sockets in the wall. Below the fridge is a cutting board. Now this needs to be oiled yet, but this is basically a cutting board that you can use attached, and we can also remove from the vehicle, so now I can put it anywhere on a table or something, and wash it or something like that. But for just those quick roadside stops, this is ideal. You can make a sandwich, you can do whatever you need to as far as wanting to do something, and you've still got a bit of room to open the fridge without it all coming out. So that's what the idea is behind that. So the next part here is the Clearview pantry, they call it, or kitchen, whichever way you like. A lot has been said about it, a lot's been done. They usually sit in a drop down slide. Look, the product, fantastic. I like it. It's very modular, compact. It does provide a reasonable amount of storage, in particular in there, so my pots and pans and everything will go into there, which you can also access from the top, so you've got more room. As far as the product's concerned, really good. The reason I don't have a drop slide, and I will be asked this, is they are extremely heavy. So we used to have a drop slide in here when I originally built the vehicle, which was an MSA drop slide. Again, really good product, but they're extremely heavy. Like, you're talking a 40 kilo system sitting there just to move another system that weighs 100 kilos, in this case the fridge, when I had it that way, hence why I've gone upright. Clearview is pretty well the same, so the pantry slash kitchen good product, but on a drop slide, moving it out, you're looking at adding another 30 or 40 kilos in dead weight, and we're trying to conserve weight. So a better option for me personally was to put it on a couple of runners. Now, really important to know that when these pantries are made, the reason these are cut in the way they are, these are designed so that when they fold open, that this part here rests against the tray off the drop down slide. That's a really good thing, except when you don't use a drop down slide, you need to find some way of stopping it from becoming on an angle that becomes unusable. So as I was saying, the Clearview pantry was designed to be sitting on a tray, and by sitting on a tray, this is intended for that, so that when you fold it out, that rests up against the tray and makes it level, depending on where the tray is, obviously, if you lower it down or up. I didn't want to do that, so hence why we fitted these, and this is going to get worse. So it just started raining, by the way. Welcome to far northern New South Wales. So anyway, yeah, so to slide this out, I've basically just put it on tracks. It slides out, locks into place, and then allows me to open it. And as we've got these two parts there, that will now support it, and it's perfectly level. For those that don't know the Clearview kitchen or pantry, there's another component that comes out here where you put a sink. You can put a cooker on there, although I got to find a new cooker because my cooker that I've got for this, or the one that I've always used, won't fit in here. It's a little bit too long. And then you can also open this up to get into that aforementioned storage from below. So yeah, that's the Clearview. The only other modification I've done to it, I've put a handle on here because I find it a lot easier to open and close it than just using that latch. And the other advantage is I've got now somewhere where I can actually hang a tea towel in the kitchen area. Now, you then just press those two buttons, slides in, locks in perfectly. Next to that, this is from MRT. They're based in Yatala. I believe they also got offices in Sydney, Melbourne possibly. Have a look on their site, Mate Rates Tools. This is their pantry. It's the X series. It's fairly new. I all like those pantries. There's a number of manufacturers who make them. I absolutely love them because you can contain everything in with it. The advantage with this is it does actually go into an actual recessed area, and as there's walls either side, anything you put in there can't jump out. You close it, it just locks in automatically, and their handle is under here to do that. Works very well. So above is the Road Chef. Again, a new addition. Look, they're a bit of a gimmick, really. As far as, using a lot of electricity, so caution recommended when using, but all in all they do a good job. I've already trialled it out, and you can put a sizable amount of stuff in there, so for any sort of cooking, it's or baking while you're travelling, pastries, something like that, something basic, it definitely will do a job, or potentially even reheating your dinner. Okay, so just to go more into, I'll give a bit of a closer look into that pantry. Actually, let me turn on that shelf light, so that might help a little bit in seeing what's actually in there. Look, they're a really good design, and as I said, they slide shut and lock into place. I've got another storage shelf there, and a bit of a big area for a table that slides down the side there. On the back of the vehicle we got two dirty bags, so one of them I use for washing, while the other one I use for kindling, that sort of stuff, try and keep out, or anything else we might have. So look, again, no deal, no sponsorship or anything, but really good product. It's very solid, they're quite substantial, and it's got a little bag inside a bag where you can put plastic bags if you want them. I generally put plastic bags and then put everything into the plastic bag, rather than into the bag itself. So two of those. Under here, now Again, the rear bar of this is my own build. There's a video on it, and you can have a look at it. Okay, so under here, once this tailgate's opened up, you can see there's the air tank under there and a water tank, so that's primary access for those two. And I've also got an ARB dust cover over the top of the back of the air tank there to stop any stuff from coming in. So above, this is the rooftop tent, so this is obviously one of those telescopic ladders that folds up. Rooftop tent is 95 kilos, so it is a heavy rooftop tent. The canopy is rated for it. It certainly has enough strength in those pillars here that do it. So this is actually the entire pillar, same as the front, so it's well and truly rated for it. The thing I need to point out is it is still 95 kilos. It is fairly thick in body, and I'll explain why, and I have brought it back a fair bit. Given the size of the vehicle and the weight that's down here with the water and the 2 fuel tanks, etc, etc, it's actually not too bad. Since I've done this modification, I've driven it, it's handled really well, I have to admit. It doesn't seem to sway in corners all that much or body roll. Heavy wind impact certainly hasn't been felt at all. We've had some really windy days in southeast Queensland recently that I drove in up and down the motorway to see what would happen, and I've had no issues. Okay, so up here we've got a set of work lights. They're spread. Core, again, hardcore lighting, really good products. Look, honestly, they are good, and I'll tell you a bit of a story about my work lights shortly, but anyway, let me show you, they're good product. I've had those that light bar on the front of the vehicle over the head of the vehicle since the beginning of building this car, and nothing ever went wrong. These work lights here, they light up everything around you. They're only 5 watt each. You can leave them on for hours, it won't cause any harm. As far as the rooftop tent is concerned, it's 2.5 meters in the air, so it's certainly high up. It is a good setup. It lets a lot of air through, and it should be very, very good for the bigger trips, in particular where there's a crocodile risk. Hence one of the reasons why I love my swag, and I do prefer sleeping in a swag, but this just makes it a bit safer. Okay, so this is the top of the rooftop tent. This is the standard mattress that comes with it, and underneath we've got a one of those I think I need to double check exactly what they're called, but they're basically designed to prevent any condensation build-up. So like a condensation mat that sits underneath it. Carpeted roof. As I said, it's very, very tall. Like I can sit in here, reach all the way to the top, and my hand doesn't touch that ceiling. So really good. 2 meters long. So again, even for a tall fellow like me, not a problem at all. Okay, so one of the other things too is, that I've done, and this I'll show you now, is I've actually painted the roof on this. So this rooftop tent, when it came, it was actually entirely black. I did paint the top of that the same colour as the vehicle. There's 2 reasons. One, it ties in with the vehicle quite well, but more importantly I did it because it will allow me to have a lot cooler. By having that roof white, it's not going to get as hot in there. My concern would be a black rooftop shell, closed all day in the sun. You open up, would be extremely warm in there. So this concludes the vehicle build series. Thank you for watching, really appreciate it. We will be doing a detailed video of the interior of the vehicle shortly, and also the electricals. So in the meantime, if you do have any questions, please post them below, and we will endeavour to answer them as soon as possible. Thank you.